Hey guys, it is Mishy Beauty. I am back again. This time, as you can tell from the title, I am going to be reviewing the foundations liquid that I have in my stash, in my small collection. I will be rating those, and they consist of both drugstore and what little high-end that I do have. And keep in mind, these are foundations that I use for my purpose. Not everybody uses foundations in the same way for the same reason. Everybody has different skin tones, different skin issues, different things that they want enhanced or to hide with their skin on their face. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will also be reviewing the skin tints that I do have in my possession. I only have a few, but I will be rating them. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, guys, let me go ahead and rate my foundations in my collection that I have. This is going to include stick foundations. It is going to include a few high-end BB creams. Let's see, stick, high-end, full coverage, light coverage, BB cream, and that's really it. This is what is going to be included in this rating. So let's go ahead and start with the best foundation for me. Or do I want to start from the other end? I don't know. Let's go ahead and start from the foundation. I don't know how I want to start. Let me think. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the lowest foundation. So on the low end, that I just completely did not like. It was one of the worst ones that I spent money on, and I hate to do that. But for my skin and skin tone and the way it sat on my face and how long it lasted, the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid, that of course is a drugstore. Let me get close and see if you can see. No, let me. So this one, I forgot how much it was. Was it $7 or $8.99 or something at the local grocery store? You know, some of the grocery stores do have the makeup aisles. So I did buy this on a whim. It did not do great. It did not, let's focus. Sorry guys. It did not do great on my skin. It did not last long. The color looked a little grayish on me. I don't know how I did the review. I don't know what I said in the review about this, but I do remember that it was not the greatest on my skin. It didn't last long. It kind of separated a little bit. The color was a little off, and the colors that they had, it just wasn't a great selection. It just didn't do what I needed it to do. So this was at the bottom of my list. The next one that I'm putting at the bottom of my list, excuse me, that's my phone, would be, and I hate to do this because I like Neutrogena products, but I prefer Neutrogena skincare products. I am going to keep trying for their beauty products, but the Hydra Boost Hydrating Foundation Stick, this one, I got two colors, and let me just say that their color or shade range was not that great for the sticks anyway. Let me show you the colors that I did get. They are the chestnut, which I forgot which one that was already, and the cocoa. The cocoa was the darker, I believe. So let's go ahead and zoom in on these two colors. This foundation was a little thick. I'm so sorry. I do have to get that. All right, guys, I'm sorry. Where was I before I had to answer my phone? So yeah, these two, same. They're the same, just different colors. They're at the bottom of my list. It's just they're too thick. They are, when they did the wear test, it didn't wear that great. It kind of creased and it separated. It just didn't do very well for me. I did do a video on these as well. Then I tried to actually use these as concealers. It had too much creasing going on. I don't think I did a video on that, but that was the issue with these. So they're at the bottom of my list. Ooh, they're at the bottom of my list. The next one that I would put, well, this one was at the bottom, and these are, you know, both at the bottom. The next one after that going up, let me think. I'm guessing that the Flower, I've had no luck with the stick foundations, I guess I'd say. At least the ones that I had chosen. Now the Flower Beauty stick, it was basically more moisturizing, a little bit more moisturizing. It was a little bit more dewy going on. It, the other end actually had a primer type, it was called Pore Perfect Instant Blur Stick. Multitasking Foundation is what the name of this is, by Flower Beauty. So on this end, this was a skin prepper. So you put this, it's kind of like it would be like a primer, but it's a little oilier than a primer, I would say. And then you follow it up with this. This foundation to me was too greasy. To me, it separated. I did not like it because of that, but it wore a little bit better because I would say, more of a dewy foundation, liquid foundation person. So this fit the bill a little bit better. It did not wear great. It started to separate, and it might be due to the fact that it was dewy. Powder helped a little bit, but I just didn't like the feel of this on my skin, and I really did not like the feel of their blur stick on this side. I didn't like it. It didn't do a great job at blurring. I think it sunk into what little pores I did have, and it didn't do the job with blurring like I expected it to. Going up on the scale, I would say the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. This one, if I can remember, this one was really too thick. It went on like clay. As I started to try to blend it, the coverage was there. They didn't send me my exact shade. It was a little lighter. I made it work. But as I started to blend it, it was drying really fast. This, I don't know if they consider this a matte, but it is a broad spectrum. SPF 15 sunscreen is included in here, which is great. It was just too heavy for me. I did not do a wear test on this, but this was so thick, it felt like my skin could not breathe. So this probably would be good for someone that liked that type or needed that type of coverage, but it just didn't do what I needed it to do in terms of making my skin feel better. It didn't do that. It made it feel smothered. It did cover everything, but unfortunately I did not do a wear test on this, so I don't think I did. So I cannot really tell you how this wears, unfortunately. But just putting it on, for the little bit that I did have it on, it's just, I know right off the bat it's not for me. The next one I am going to say, the BB cream by CoverGirl. It's called Clean Matte. It is great for a BB cream, but I just didn't like the way it looked. I thought it looked great, but it didn't last. I didn't like the coverage it gives. So maybe it's just I don't need to wear a BB cream. I actually like the way some of my skin tints wore a little bit better than this. So I didn't really like it too much. I don't have any other BB cream to compare it to, but if you want to talk about it in comparison with foundations for coverage, it felt better than the ones prior that I just mentioned, believe it or not. It's a good BB cream, I guess. For a BB cream, it's oil free. It says it won't clog pores, which it didn't feel like. It first time going on, it gave a natural look, but I mean, it wasn't the best. Let me just say it wasn't the best feeling coverage that I have. So I'm going to put this above the lowest, but it's somewhere in the middle. The next one that I do want to say I liked, I'm going to say that the Maybelline Fit Me was one of the best, because I do have another drugstore, but one of the best drugstore and one of the first foundations, actually the first foundation I did get. This is a great foundation. It covers everything. It does what a lot of the high-end foundations do. It didn't feel that bad on my skin. Just now it's getting into look and feel, and the matte and poreless. It's great. It's great. It's up there, but I did like the way it felt and everything. I think I chose the right color. I didn't have a problem with this foundation at all. However, going up on the scale, I really liked how much lighter the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Wear 24-hour Fresh Wear foundation did. I really did like the way that it felt on my skin. I think that for coverage reasons, that's the only reason why it's underneath the Airbrush Flawless and the Fenty. So I think that that's the only reason that it's in that, where it falls in my list, but it is a very good foundation. If I did wear liquid foundations every day, this would be the one that I would go to. Okay, so the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and say Fenty Beauty here. I really do like Fenty Beauty. It was a little bit too matte for me. I'm not a matte person. I'm not a matte person, but the coverage that it gave for taking pictures, my coverage is 380 for those that are curious. It did oxidize a little bit, and that's why I had to return one and buy another shade. But, and what I have on is the Fenty Beauty, I have the concealer on without any powder or foundation today. Just this. And stay tuned later on, like in another video, I'm gonna rate the few concealers that I have. But anyway, this wore very well. I even put it side by side with Charlotte Tilbury, and they basically kind of wore the same. I really did like this for pictures. It's too heavy for me. The coverage was great, but it's just too heavy for me, and the quality, you can tell it's a lot better than the ones that I already mentioned. It was just a little bit too heavy for me. The long wear of it is what puts it near the top of my list. I'm gonna go ahead. This is hard for me, this next one. I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Vanish Hourglass Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation is the second to the top for me. I did like the way it wore. I liked the coverage and the way it felt. I did not get a the full size of this. This is a trial size, but it was enough for me to know that this is one of the top foundations for me. It wore great. It is very expensive. It is a little bit too expensive for me to continue to buy, even when I do not wear liquid foundation a whole lot. But this would be a go-to for special events for me. And with the cost of it, that's why it's number 2, is because I do not go to a lot of special events, and to pay the price that they were wanting for it, I just did not want to do that. But very good foundation in my opinion. The next at the top, number 1 for me in my, now this is just in my stash. I do want to try the Estee Lauder, what is it, Double Wear, but Double Wear is probably too thick for me, but it's just something I need to try. The Airbrush Flawless Foundation by Charlotte Tilbury. This foundation, because of the skincare, that it doesn't have a lot of skincare in it percentage wise, but because it is there, and it wore very well. You guys saw that comparison with Fenty Beauty on my site, because it does wear well, and it did, the way that it blends into your skin after you wear it for a while, it looked very good, and it did not feel heavy. It did not feel heavy at all. I did not break out really from any of these. I did not break out at all. However, there is one that I am going to mention, and I can't really say that it really did it, but I'll tell you that Juvia's Place, I did try the Juvia's Place, and I did have a few bumps after application and taking it off. Juvia's Place is not here today because I did return it. It was too matte for me. It just didn't feel right on my skin. It didn't feel natural on my skin, and that is what I look for. So this is my number 1 pick in my collection that I have for the best liquid foundation. I'm sure there are a lot out there. I really do want to try Dior, because I'm hearing that Dior does not feel heavy. I'm also hearing that MAC, I forgot what it's called, there's a MAC one out there that is light as well. So there's a lot that I haven't tried that I do need to try, but this is my number 1 pick. As far as my skin tints, let's go to that, and I am going to rate those. But number 1 is Charlotte Tilbury, and if you're curious, I am 12.5 neutral in Charlotte Tilbury, and it did oxidize just a little. It did not oxidize a lot, but the longer I wore Charlotte Tilbury foundation, the better and more natural it did look. And it is a full coverage foundation, which some folks, I saw the reviews, did not think so, but it was perfect for me. This is not something I'd wear every day either, because I don't wear liquid foundations every day, but if I had to, this would be it. All right, as far as my skin tints go, let me move this stuff out of the way. My skin tints, I don't have very many. Sorry, blooper. I don't have very many, but let me go ahead and start at the bottom for skin tints. The bottom of the list would be the L'Oreal Visible Lift Luminous Serum Tint. Not only was this kind of gray, let me just smell it, because some of these, the smell is not too bad, it's not great, but it just did not look right. It made my skin a different color and it was more grayish. I did not like this. It says nourishing moisture for your skin with a touch of illuminating color. I could still use this, like if I ran out of these that I have next that I'm going to tell you about, I would reach for this, but it's by L'Oreal. It's called Visible Lift. I like what it says it does, but I didn't like the look, so that's why it's at the bottom of my list. Ew, excuse me. Blooper, I burped. The next thing that I want to talk about, and this is really odd that Bare Minerals is not next. Well, not Bare Minerals, but that Bare Minerals is not at the top. Bare Minerals, I'm gonna say right now, Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. That, I wouldn't say it is bad. This is one of the top ones that I use all the time. However, when I got the Milani Soft Focus Glow, if this came in a darker color, it'd be great, but I'm just, this one, it doesn't, it's so light that, not light in color, but it's so light on the skin that it really doesn't do anything for me as far as the look, and I like a luminous look. So this Complexion Rescue is tinted hydrating. It is in fact tinted hydrating, and it's a gel cream. It's great for the skin, but I like a glow from within look. This does not give me the glow from within look, so I am rating it here. I do want to say that the next one, it's kind of difficult, but because Milani Soft Focus Glow does give you that glow from within, this one is supposed to, but the color was off. It just, and the color range is not there. This one I really do like. I really do like this one. It is $10.99 at Walgreens. That's where I bought it. I forgot how much. This one is pricey. I think we were in the 20 somethings with this one. This one is $10.99 at Walgreens, and I do like the way it feels on my face, and I love the way it looks. This I go by itself or underneath my powder foundation, which I will be doing a review of my powder foundations, which I think I've done before, but I have others that now I want to do another review of those. But yes, I will put this on by itself. The number one brand, it's called Nilotica. I think it's Nilotica Goddess Glow. This is a sample. However, I want to go to Sephora and buy the full bottle of this. I'm not sure how much it is, but this is Hydrating Illuminator. Love it. It has got a pinkish type of glow, and I love it underneath foundation, especially powder foundation. So this is my number one. I used it until I couldn't use it anymore. I think I've got a little bit left. I don't use it unless I really am going somewhere. The LXMI Nilotica Goddess Glow is my number one pick from my stash. Want more of it. I think it's the most expensive one out of all of the ones that I mentioned. That does it, guys. Nilotica Goddess Glow. That one wins number one for my skin tints. The Charlotte Tilbury Foundation Airbrush Flawless will win the number one for me for the foundations in my stash. Obviously, I have a lot more to try, but what's in my stash right now, that is what I rate them. If you guys are curious, go ahead and write me. That was a lot to put in a description. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Most of these, you guys already know where to get. So without further ado, I'm gonna let you guys go, but that was my list. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me. If you found this useful, give it a thumbs up. This is only what I have. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I'll be doing more like this soon for my concealers that are in my stash and my powder foundation. So if you're interested in anything else that I have, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.